Good afternoon. Let's see, Commissioner Clark and myself, we'll get started. Commissioner Booker is joining us remotely. I'd like to go ahead and call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Is there a motion to accept the agenda as presented unless there is an item to be pulled?
Motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay, Commissioner Booker has joined us via Zoom. Okay, let's see. There is one item actually on the consent agenda, however, that was to be deferred. Is that correct?
We need,
Do we need to go back?
I'd like to rescind my motion to us.
No, you're okay.
We're okay with that? Okay.
So you can just say that we make a motion to accept the consent agenda with deferring item number 11.
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda deferring item 11.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Moving on to general business. Item 13, approve or deny a request from Golden Isles Tennis, Inc. to waive court rental fees for a USTA tennis tournament benefiting Glenn County Youth Tennis to be held May 16 to May 18 at Epworth Park. Mr. Gaines.
Yeah, good afternoon, Commissioners. This item was brought forward at the last Finance Committee meeting and was deferred until today at your request so that we could have a representative from Golden Isles Tennis here to answer any questions you might have about their request for a fee waiver. And Mr. Patrick Anderson with Golden Isles Tennis is here today if you have any questions that you would like to direct towards him.
Mr. Anderson? Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Is this a request that we've had in prior years?
We requested last year for a November tournament, also the Golden Isles Hardcourt Championships, which is an annual fundraiser for us. That was the first year that we've had it, and you were kind enough to grant a fee waiver for that tournament. We've decided to move the tournament to May instead of November to take advantage of more daylight so that we can have more participation and play more matches during the weekend. So that's the reason for turning around shortly after you approved a fee waiver for the last tournament and seeing us requesting that again. Just for a bit of background, Golden Isles Tennis is the local USTA affiliate serving Glenn County and the surrounding counties, but primarily Glenn County. And Epworth Park is special to our hearts. It's really the only public facility in the area that has enough courts to handle a USTA sanctioned tournament. So we've been working very closely in the last 2 years with Lisa at Recreational Parks to take advantage of the USTA Facilities Grant Program. And we've approved through Glenn County $100,000, well, $50,000 matching facilities grant from USTA. So Glenn County is committed $50,000 and USTA has committed $50,000 to be used for court improvements over at Epworth Park. And so far we've contributed $21,000 of that for court resurfacing and 16 brand new player benches. The other ones were deteriorating and breaking down. So we accomplished that last year, and this year we're working on new bleachers for the various courts, as well as some infrastructure, sidewalks to make them accessible. So those are some of the things we're doing, and The tournament itself in May is a fundraiser for youth tennis. We see a gap in tennis activities between the county's summer camp programs, which are terrific, to introduce children into tennis, and the junior high or the middle school and high school programs. There's really nothing in between for youth tennis, so we're planning to, starting in the fall, to have a youth league that'll have regular matches for youth that offsets the summer season and the, I suppose, winter-spring season at the high schools. So that's the reason for our tournament fundraiser. We'll be having bake sale, we're going to be having a used equipment drive that will benefit Brunswick High. Tommy Beck over there is always asking for used equipment for his players. And we'll raise as much money as we can for the youth tennis league in the fall. And if we have any money left over, we'll offer scholarships to those in need to that program. So that's the reason for our request for a court
Yes,
waiver.
sir. Yeah. What's the age groups, Mr. Anderson?
For the youth tennis?
Yes, sir. Mhm.
It'll go from 8 to 14.
Oh, okay, good, good. Well, we appreciate you coming in and everything. And I make a motion to approve request for Golden Isles.
Just have one question.
No, yes, I'm sorry.
So what is the amount of the court fee waiver?
You have that amount?
I do, actually I do. The court fee is, for the 3-day use would be $2,400.
All right. Yeah. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve a request from Golden Isles Tennis Incorporated to waive court rental fees for USTA tennis tournaments benefiting Glenn County youth tennis to be held May 16th through the 18th, 2025 at Epworth Park.
Second.
Okay, we have a proper motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Commissioners, very kindly.
Yes, sir. Item 14, approve or deny a request from Morningstar Children and Family Services to refund the park rental fee and the park cleaning fee the organization paid to the county to host a community event at Gascoigne Bluff Park on March 15, 2025.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Morningstar made this request. It was on last month's Finance Committee agenda, and again, you had asked to have a representative of this organization be here to answer questions you might have. I did reach out to Ms. Nichols, who made the initial request for the fee waiver, and she said she would be here or have a representative here, but I don't know that there is one here today. Is there anyone here from Morningstar? So. I'm not sure what happened. They've not communicated. As of last week, I expected to have somebody here.
Okay. One question, again, what is the amount of the park rental fee?
Well, because they are a 501c3 organization, they already are eligible for a 50% discount, which that in turn comes to $300 is what they've already paid for that event, because obviously it's already passed.
And what is the park cleaning fee, the rate of just that park?
Well, so the $300 includes the $50 park rental fee, and then $250 for the actual park rental of Gascoigne Park, which is the nonprofit rate for that park.
Okay.
You're not with Morningstar, are you? No. No, okay, I'm sorry. Good try.
I live there, but I'm not related.
Okay, thank you.
So Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
are we deferring this? I believe we discussed having a standard of having somebody
Yeah.
at the meetings
Yeah.
before we voted on the waiver.
Yeah.
You're right.
And yes, yeah, Mr. Commissioner Booker, I agree. I make a motion to defer a request from Morningstar Children and Family Services to refund park rental fee and park cleaning fee. The organization paid to the county to host a community event at Gascon Bluff Park on March 15th, 2025.
I'll second that and ask Jason a question. Since this would be the second time we deferred this, is there,
Right, I think,
So-
this
So
would be the
is
second
there something-
deferral, that's right.
Second time.
and so do we have to do something different? Can we just keep deferring it? Or do we have to make a decision about it after so many deferments?
I
Pulling
don't,
it.
I'm not aware of any time limitations or period of time within which you have to make a decision on this sort of thing. I don't think there are any sort of strictures that I'm aware of for that.
All right, okay. So I did second that.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second to defer item number 14 until a representative can come before the Finance Committee with the request. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 15, approve or deny a request from Michelle Newman to refund interest and penalties paid on property taxes for the year 2024 in the amount of $58.47 for parcel number 0202393 located at 1 Marina Drive, Unit 302A.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Ms. Newman is requesting a refund of $58.47 paid in interest for 2024 on property taxes located at 1 Marina Drive, Unit 302, parcel number 0202393. Ms. Newman states in her request that someone in the tax commissioner's office changed her mailing address, resulting in her not receiving her bill. Address changes aren't made through the tax commissioner's office. Address changes are made through Glenn County's GIS department. Property taxes are due every November, mid-November, with the exception of 2024, which was due December 10th, 2024. Ms. Newman has owned the property since September 2019 and has been paying taxes annually. Failure to receive a tax bill does not relieve you of the responsibility to make your payments by the due date. The Office of the Tax Commissioner wasn't negligent in the performance of its duties.
Thank you. Is Ms. Newman with us today?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to?
Yes, I just don't see item.
Ma'am, you need to step up to the mic, please.
If you could introduce yourself, please.
My name is Michelle Newman, and I own several properties in Glenn County as well as up and down the East Coast. So if I don't receive a tax bill for a specific property, they're all due at different times, and the times shift depending on the state and the county. Somebody changed my mailing address. I have the paperwork in my office. I didn't bring it with me. But there's a woman somewhere on this floor who told me that she changed my mailing address to a rental property that I own. I don't see why, I mean, I don't really spend a lot of time fighting over $60, but I'm mad. I think it's not a way to treat a person who pays a lot of taxes. My taxes went way up. I pay for the schools. I don't have one child in any of the schools where I pay taxes, and I feel that it's unjust. Somebody changed my mailing address, and then I had to spend all this time to change it back to my office address. So it's a slap in the face, and I love Glenn County, but I don't appreciate it. And as this woman, whose name I don't know, pointed out, I have been paying my taxes on time, in full, for 10 years until I didn't receive notice of either the increase in the tax or when it was due. And it's just not right. You just don't treat people that way.
Ms. Newman, is this the only two properties, or do you own more than two properties in Glenn County?
I own two.
It's these two?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
Mr.
not to
Chairman,
mention how much time I spent trying to figure out what was going on. Because I got the runaround and I got all different stories and some people telling one thing and some people, I was here at this building probably 5 times in a week and a half trying to figure out what was going on. I have other things to do than to fork it over to Glenn County.
Commissioner Booker? I think you.
right, unless, I mean, if she's willing to wait to maybe see if you can find a Glenn County employee who changed, who said that they changed the address. If she's willing to do that, then I would consider.
I
A
have paperwork
refund.
that she signed and she told me she did it. She
Okay,
told
but
me she did it and she signed it, but I can't read her writing, but I have it in my office. I was flabbergasted because I own properties. This is what I do for a living. I'm 61 years old and I never heard of such a thing. I'm in major cities. That just can't happen. It's almost like stealing property from people when you change their mailing address. And she goes, well, you know, the mail came back undelivered. So I looked you up and I saw one of your rental properties and sent it there. And my tenant just, of course, didn't tell me. I mean, the thing, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Well, again, I suggested this for us to consider a refund. Normally, we do not under these conditions because the taxes, as you know, because you've been paying them on a regular basis, they're due the same time every year. We haven't changed.
I have multiple properties. I can't remember off the top of my head when it's due in Florida, when it's due in Pennsylvania, when it's due in Maryland. I pay off of invoices like most business people do. I don't just pay bills without an invoice.
Well, ma'am,
I'm 61 years old. If I was 19, maybe I would not pay off an invoice, but I pay off of invoices. And if you don't
Well-
send me an invoice, you won't get paid. So tell my contractors the same thing. You can't just send me a text message saying, I want $5,000. You need to send me an invoice.
Well, ma'am,
Who's talking?
I'm attempting to give you a recourse suggested to the Finance Committee for you. But again, whether you can remember it or not is not really up to us. It's the taxes in Glenn County are due the same time every year. And we can't deal with where the timeline for these other places where you own property, or the fact that you own property in these other places. And so that, but in an attempt to try to provide you some recourse from this, if you can, I don't have a problem with deferring this until you can find the county employee that's willing to admit that they changed the address. But if you're unwilling to do that, then we have to go with our normal course, I believe. That's what I would be recommending. And I will also say that the taxes that you pay for are beyond just school. They help to cover a number of the local expenses that we have as a county.
Well, it doesn't include trash pickup or anything like that. But anyway, the man behind the curtain, the Wizard of Oz, I have the information in my office and I'll provide it but I mean, I can't spend my life fighting with Glenn County. It's just inappropriate to me and I question the legality of it.
I tell you what, Ms. Newman, you said you got the paperwork in your office to show us or evidence that someone signed it.
I do have it. And I think the
did you-
woman's name was Susan something or S.A. her initials, but she told me she did it.
Yeah,
She
well,
goes, oh yeah, we sent you a reassessment notice and it got sent back. So I looked up online your rental property address and changed your address to that and started sending everything there. I mean, no one has the right to do that.
Well, it appears she was attempting to help out.
No, it
And,
appears as though she was doing something without proper knowledge of the situation, which in my opinion means she should not have that job.
well,
If someone working for me did that, they would have to account for it.
I
But
retract
I'm not
my-
asking for that. I'm just asking not to be penalized for incompetence on the part of Glynn County.
Mr. Chairman, I retract my suggestion. I'll follow what you and Commissioner Clark want to do. Because again, Glenn County taxes are due the same time every month, every year. Whether you remember that or not, it's really not up to us. It's up to you. And if you pay off for invoices, again, that's your process. And if we were not negligent in this process, as Ms. Everett just spoke about.
But you raised
Then-
my taxes. How would I have known that if you had not sent me an invoice? My taxes were different than they ever were any other year in 10 years. How would I know that without an invoice?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Miss,
Crazy people.
all right.
Well, I'm ready to offer a
I got
motion.
it. Yeah, I got it, Commissioner Booker. I make a motion to deny request from Michelle Newman to refund interest penalties paid on property taxes for the year 2024 in the amount of $58.47 for parcel number 0202393 located at 1 Marina Drive, Unit 302A.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 16, approve or deny request from Michelle Newman to refund interest penalties paid on property taxes for the year 2024 in the amount of $65.91 for parcel number 0410835 located at 850 Mallory Street, Unit 7D.
This is the same scenario as the last one. Ms. Newman stated that someone in the tax commissioner's office changed her mailing address and she didn't receive her bill. She's owned this property since March 2015, has been paying taxes annually. Failure to receive a bill does not relieve you of the responsibility of a timely payment. The office of the tax commissioner wasn't negligent in the performance of its duties.
Ms. Newman, anything different on item 16 as the prior item?
No, but if you want me to waste more of all of ours time, I will. I just flabbergasted that I would be treated this way.
I make a motion to deny a request from Michelle Newman to refund interest penalties paid on property taxes for the year 2024 in the amount of $65.91 for parcel number 0410835 located at 850 Mallory Street, Unit 7D.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No other motion. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.